Welcome back to Just You and Me. I'm Donna.
And I am Adam. How is it going? I feel like it's been a while now.
It has.
We
We took a
took what?
break. We
Yeah,
took a
took a couple
hiatus.
weeks, couple weeks, but we are back. It's good to be back.
Is it? You feel
Yeah,
good?
I feel good. I feel like there's, lots of stuff to talk about and things that
Well, there's always stuff to talk about.
I know there's always stuff to talk about, but I feel like when you're gone for 2-3 weeks, there's going to be extra crap to talk about. So
I needed a break. I had so much going on in my personal life, and I couldn't do it. Like I couldn't take it on in that moment because my kids were home from school without camp. And as you know, that is wildly overwhelming. But I also was planning this personal event that you went to
yes.
called Dosers Live, and you were a celebrity because I had so many Just You and Me listeners that came.
Well, let's first talk about Dosers Live, and then we can get into that. I feel like I want to congratulate you because it was
Thank you.
such an awesome event.
It
I
was
had no
crazy.
I had no idea what to expect. Yes, it did make it better that I had a fan club there, but it was also a lot of fun, and it was really the production value, everything. I think you did a really good job. So I'm super proud of you. Not that I have to be your Jewish mother, although I did have a lot of conversations with your Jewish mother when I was
Does
there.
she actually know who you are yet?
Yes, we had an entire conversation about that. She was confused about who I was for a while, but after the conversation, we were good. We were good.
You were like Jew,
Yes.
Ulpan,
Yes.
Israel, Mom, Donna, Zach, Adam, not Zach. No, I'm not the gay pop culture guy. I
Right.
am the Jew.
And she was very, very sweet, and it was very good because I've met her maybe 20 years ago. At a certain point.
Yeah. Like
Along
in high school years, like when you
right,
came over one time or something.
right, and I just hadn't seen her since, so it was great to kind of reconnect and see her again.
It's crazy. Yeah. We had it was, I mean, I will say production wise, that was almost all Lance, my husband. It was at his studio here in Burbank. He handled the lighting. We hired an amazing DJ for the music, and he kind of coordinated a lot of that. But we hired a great bartender, an Israeli guy.
Yes.
Shout out to the Ice Cactus here in Los Angeles. If you're a LA person and you're hosting a party and you want a good Jewish Israeli bartender, and this was so crazy, the story, and I said it at the party, but I was traveling back from Chicago like around March, and I was starting to panic about, hiring vendors for this party. And I'm not a party planner by any means. I'm hiring someone to help me for the bar mitzvah. Like this is not my strong suit. So I was just online Googling, like on Instagram, mobile Los Angeles bartenders. And I just saw his setup, and I was like, I didn't even see the picture of the guy. I just saw a setup. It looks cute. Okay. I reached out to 20 people.
Okay.
But he responded, Shabbat Shalom, or like Shalom. And I said, what? And he said, I recognized your Magen David because I have Proud Jew on my Instagram profile. And I swear to God, he could have told me his price. I didn't care. I was like, you're hired. Like that was it. I'm telling you, sometimes that's all it takes to like want to work with someone in these days, because it feels like a immediate connector. Like you just want to you want to collaborate with people that you're at least going to connect on that. Like you don't know that you're going to hire someone and all of a sudden they're going to come with a kafia on their head or something.
I get it. And it was great. I went up to him. We were talking because he saw my shirt. I was wearing the Curb Your Anti-Semitism shirt. So he was, he obviously knew I was for the cause. But then I told him about this podcast, and he was like, I'm literally getting chills right now. This is so awesome that you guys do this. So it was very cool to see that.
Yeah, he was really, really cool. And then I hired another mom from my school. That was another thing. I was looking for like a dessert situation, and I was reaching out to all these candy. Like I was thinking like a candy bar, but then someone said, well, there's a mom at your school, and I go to a Jewish school. There's a mom at your school that does the same kind of, she kind of does whatever you need.
Right.
And again, I was like, perfect, great. So I really love that I was able to hire great people. I hired a great photographer that listens to my show. And the coolest part about it, just to kind of bring it towards the just you and me vibe, is if you listen to my show and you buy tickets to Daily Dose of Donna, to Dosers Live, you have to know that I'm Jewish,
Mhm.
obviously. You have to have watched the show or listened to the show enough to know that I am, proud to be Jewish and I'm not ashamed of it, that I am pro Israel and fight for that cause. And I have this podcast. And so, like, I think I was talking to my sister and her husband the next day, and I said, that was also something really cool. It kind of reminds me of when we went to go see Daniel Ryan Spalding,
Mhm.
the comedian who was also on our podcast, to know that you're in a room with 99.9% people, other than maybe the DJ is the only one that I wasn't like convinced, but he seemed to be really into whatever. Like he was so cool with whatever. And 99% of the people in that room, I was sure, at least if they didn't feel it, they were okay with
Yeah.
me and my feelings on that topic. And that's like a really safe feeling to
Yeah. No,
be
I get that.
these days.
Of course. Of course. You want to be, I mean, with all the shit that's going on with the craziness of, this anti-Israel movement, you don't know what people's um, you don't know what people are going to do. They could be, against Israel and be completely normal about it and not say anything, or they could be against Israel and need to be very vocal about it and ruin something that you put your whole life into, like this event.
Yeah.
But what also was cool was, back to my fan club, when I had people come up to me at the event. I think about 4 or 5 people came out to me, but what was very interesting was two of them told me they weren't Jewish and they listen and watch our podcast on a weekly basis. And that to me, as much as of course I love our Jewish fans, but we say this is that allies are so important, and it's really great to see that people who aren't Jewish, even if it's a small minority, are still listening or watching the podcast because they either want to learn a little bit more about the stuff we go through and about Judaism, or they're already for the cause and kind of understand what we do and what we go through. So I thought that
Yeah.
was really cool to have non-Jews come up to me and say,
Yeah.
yeah, I listen to it every week.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that completely. I love that. It was awesome. It was a really cool event and really fun. And thanks for coming and supporting. That was fun. Um, yeah. And then, so now that that's out of the way and the kids are back in school, I feel like we can finally keep going. And then we were supposed to record a couple days ago. And then I was like, you're going to kill me. Billy Bush is asking me to be on his show.
How'd that go?
And luckily, I adore Billy Bush.
Yeah.
And I get so much shit about, and luckily my audience at this point is cool with him because he hates Blake Lively too. But the first time I was on his show, I got a lot of crap about it because people connect Billy Bush immediately with Trump. Like people will never release him from Trump
And
because of that.
it's so annoying to me because even when that audio came about in 2016, I never had any issue with him, with Bush.
He
Like,
really got screwed.
oh, I know his career tanked, at least for a little bit, because of that. He really did, just because he was laughing along, and it made no sense to me why everybody kind of looped him into it.
What's insane is like Adam. Okay, so just say you and I are not, it's not even you and I because we're friends and you would be comfortable not laughing at like an uncomfortable thing that I said. But just say you have a chance to have a conversation with someone who, Donald Trump wasn't even running for president at the time. He was just the
On The Apprentice,
apprentice.
yeah, he was
Yeah.
a
So
popular figure.
he was like a funny reality star who was very rich,
Yep.
very rich. He was like a Mark Cuban,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Who a lot of people liked. Like the world liked. He was a
I
very
watched
likable guy.
I watched The Apprentice
We
every
all
single
did.
season. Loved it.
Yeah, he was always
And
on The View. He was
yeah,
on Regis and Kelly. He was like a
Howard
big
Stern
exactly.
constantly.
Okay. So you're hanging out, you're a host of a TV show, you're hanging out with someone who's like above your pay grade. He's kind of like this like iconic, legendary type of dude. He makes a really uncomfortable joke. Well, I call it a joke, but a lot of people that hate Trump say it's not a joke. He says something that's kind of like he deems it a joke. It was a gross thing to say.
It was gross,
Gross.
yes.
I agree. And Billy Bush does what most people do when they're in an uncomfortable situation, which is like, you know,
Yeah,
he becomes president, and Billy Bush's career is it's like he took the hate and took it all in. Now, for that reason, and Billy Bush, I will always love him for this. He was like, I took the antibodies. I am cancelable now. He's like, I'm like Teflon with being canceled. And I think
that's
that's why he actually really, really grabbed on to this Justin Baldoni story, because Blake Lively, you know, called him out for the sexual harassment. He doesn't believe that she was actually sexually harassed, because he says the second you say someone is sexually anything, like it's over for you, you know, your career is
right.
over. But it's so interesting, because I was talking to Howie Mandel and Billy Bush for a long time. My boys, Howie
Not
and
with rice.
Billy. I was talking to them for a long time, and they both have come back from like some pretty, like, you know, they've had some ups and downs in their careers.
Yep.
And it's just this world is such an interesting world, like the Hollywood world, and the ups and the downs and then being canceled and whatever. But Billy Bush himself, he's been great. He's actually like a really good ally.
Oh, is he?
Because
That's
he is like, he's fought back to Candace Owens about her anti-Semitism issues. I know his producers are, you know, he's surrounded by Jews. He's
yes.
Hollywood.
It is Hollywood.
Surrounded.
Yeah, I know, but like we know how some of the Jews are reacting in Hollywood. Some of them.
Dude.
Dude.
Like the I can't. I'm so I don't even want to talk about it. Like I saw the other day about the Venice Film Festival or something, and Brad Pitt is signing on to this Gaza film. Did you see this shit?
I'm starting to ignore some of these things. Like it
Me
comes.
too.
Like, my wife Lauren sent it to me on Instagram, whatever, yesterday or 2 days ago, and I didn't even read it. I just saw his face, and it said Gaza, and it said film festival, and I'm like, honestly, like, I what? Like, if I can't I can't sit here and think about every single celebrity. There are certain celebrities that have kind of, to me, crossed the line and continue to make this their entire personality, or at least half of their personality, where
Cynthia Nixon, Rosie O'Donnell types.
Or what's his name from
Mark Ruffalo.
Yes, Mark Ruffalo, which I never thought he was a great actor to begin with.
What a loser.
Never. But like those people to me have crossed the line. Like Brad Pitt, I don't know. Like I haven't heard anything regarding Gaza or Israel in the last 2 years about Brad Pitt. Maybe I missed it. This is the first time I'm hearing it, so I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like now I can't go see F1. Like I can't sit here and just ignore every single fucking movie just because one person said something I disagreed with. But like I said, there are certain celebrities that cross that line that I just can't get back from at all.
I know. You know, it's so interesting how this all works, but like after we had that barrage of crazy press, negative press with the starvation and the famine and all that bullshit a few weeks ago.
Yes.
I almost feel like I'm so tuned out from the negative press. Like I'm almost like nothing's going to hurt us anymore. Like, oh, bring it on.
Well, nothing's going to be any worse. That's for sure.
That was the worst it can get.
It really was. It was pretty brutal for a while. And, you know, there's a lot of fake BS that you hear in the news. So you have to kind of filter through that. But the problem is that a lot of people, of course, are not filtering through that. And they believe the first thing they hear, and they don't understand that there's more to a story than, you know, what you first see. So after that, you're right. It's the same thing. I'm like, that was one of the worst it could possibly be. Like, what can I like? I can't just sit here and worry about it constantly. You know what I mean?
No, and I've kind of like checked out from a lot of it, I have to say, from like the anger towards, the Israel Gaza war and like all the people, because it's so pointless.
Right.
It's so pointless. Nothing we say, the fighting for like, believe us, believe us. Why? It's not going to work. People have
The
made up their minds.
the only thing I can really still be on top of is anti-Semitism and everything that's
Exactly.
happening here, right? So
That we can still fight tooth and nail.
so this week in Minneapolis there was a shooting, a school shooting at a Catholic school, right?
Yeah.
Where children got killed in the middle of prayer. And when you first see this, obviously it's a Catholic school, so you don't immediately go to, oh, he hates Jews, this and that, whatever it was. But then you dig a little bit deeper into it, and you see this person's social media profile. You see this person's gun that he had. I don't know if you saw this. Pictures of the guy's gun that had he like wrote all over it in like silver pen with a bunch of different things. But he said like stuff to like 6 million was not enough. Stuff in anti-Israel rhetoric, all of that stuff. And then if you go into his profile on I think it was Instagram or whatnot, there were images of him with the watermelon, the Palestinian flag, all of that. So this is why this continues to bother me when you have a candidate, and I know it's Minnesota, and I'm talking about now a candidate in New York, and we still talk about Mondani. It still bothers me because when you talk about that phrase, globalize the Intifada, this is what it looks like. Like, you think that globalizing the Intifada stops at Jews? It doesn't. It stops at everyone who's not a radical, who's radical Islam. Everybody is in the crosshairs when it comes to globalize the Intifada. Yes, the Jews are probably first because lucky us, we're Jews. But seeing that, it should wake people up even more, because this is what happens when this rhetoric and this echo chambers that people are attached to online start festering, and there's a parasite in your head that continues to get worse and worse and worse, and ends up where somebody goes into a Catholic school and kills children.
Except no, I'm 100% on your side on this.
Yeah, I know.
The problem is, the first thing I thought when I saw this was, is this going to be enough for the media to wake up and realize, holy shit, we're doing the world a disservice here? Because this is all on the media.
Oh, it's 100%.
I have never felt more in that moment for the media to say, whoa, 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 whoa. We, in our crazy, crazy skewed reporting here, anti-Israel reporting here, maybe are creating hate in the world and creating a whole generation of anti-Semites who are going out to try to kill anyone that could be not just Jews, but like anyone believers of anything aligning with the Jewish cause or like anything that's not, radical Islam. Okay. But no, because, and I'm calling out CNN here, because instead of CNN, goddamn CNN, I'm sorry, I hate CNN now because of the way that they report on Israel.
I just love that now CNN has made you this angry, where every time we talk, it's always...
I don't mind CNN when they cover American news.
Okay.
But when they cover Israel, it is disgusting.
Yeah, I get
the way that they cover Israel. And do you agree?
Yeah, I do. And it's very weird because sorry, just a side note, when I talk on, comments and whatnot on Instagram and whatnot, people think that CNN is too nice to Israel. I'm thinking to myself,
you gotta be on.
Like, what are you watching? They're like, because they give Israel maybe the benefit of the doubt. Maybe.
Who's saying that?
That's stupid people on the internet. That it's nothing
No,
to no one that we know. But what I'm saying is that people still think that.
no,
But I agree with you. The CNN Israeli coverage is dumb.
no, 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 no. The only person that's nice to Israel on CNN is Scott Jennings when he's at that round table
Yes, but then
with
there are like we talked Dana Bash.
Abby Phillip.
Dana Bash is good, and Vance Jones is good.
Van Jones when he's there in Dana Bash. Yeah, the pro Israel
Yeah, of course.
reporters, but everyone else is not. They report horribly.
Yeah,
But so I don't watch CNN. I actually only really if I watch I never turn on the news. I watch it on Instagram like in clips,
right.
but I like News Nation.
I've
I like Cuomo.
I'm starting to realize that I like Cuomo a lot more than
I like Cuomo because I feel like he reports aligning with my beliefs a lot on this. And I love Batia. I don't know if you know Batia, but she's now I can't remember her last name. She's definitely a Trump supporter, so that may trigger a lot of people, but I love it because she's a hardcore Zionist and Jew. And so I love the way I'm just talking about the Jewish cause right now. I'm not
yeah.
talking about her politics. I'm just talking about Jews right now, you guys. So, okay. When it comes to this case, though, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I will show you why CNN pisses me off. And she actually was talking to Chris Cuomo. And I didn't see it on CNN. I saw her talking about it on Chris Cuomo about the shooting, and I'll just share it right now.
Okay.
Why it's so upsetting the moment when CNN was protecting the shooter more than the kids who were praying. Watch this. Hold on.
Enton just revealed is so unbelievably important. And you're so right. It's the exact kind of nuance that you really only find on News Nation. He reported to us by translating a piece of that diary that the killer was trans but regretted it. Now, what we learned from this is that this is a deeply evil, deeply sick person who was mentally ill for a long time and whose mental illness got coded as transgenderism by perhaps people who were trying to help him, including his mother. Now, I don't know. I am not a psychiatrist. I don't understand the link between transgenderism and mental illness. It's obviously very complex, but you know what, Chris? No one is looking into this because they are a protected category, because the Democrats have assigned them the status, and therefore you're not even allowed to ask these questions.
On CNN, they were more concerned about, and I swear I saw this multiple times, they were more concerned about pronouns. Do we call him a he? No, a they. She, the killer, she versus he, she.
See, at that point, you're just pandering to a very small group of people who really, really care about that.
It's so upsetting to me. I'm like, you're missing the point. This was a mentally ill person who had so many issues. If you read all the writing, CNN didn't report all the anti-Israel.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't focus on the fact that he said 6 million Jews weren't enough. They didn't focus on that. They focused on she
or he, right? I get
she
that.
or he.
But it's like what you said, Donna. Is like I can't watch the news anymore because this. I get this information from social media, right?
From like independent content creators,
right? Or like and then so they'll take clips of those snippets of like what you just put up from News Nation, or they will take from Fox News or even CNN. Any of these that gives me like a little bit of color of what's going on, and then I'm able to sit there and make my own decision on what this is, and rather than have that kind of force fed to me.
And I'm not saying that, like, you know, this is not a whole big conversation on transgender, by the way. Like, I'm not anti-trans, and this is not about that. It's just clearly this person was mentally ill and trans.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't mean that they're all trans people are. It just means this person was both.
Yeah.
And wasn't being taken care of. Mental illness is a major problem in this world. And I mean, I'm covering on my other show in Pop Culture Land a former Real World. Did you grow up watching the Real World like me?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Do you remember? Do you know what I'm covering like crazy? Is that Kelly Wolf? She's married to Scott Wolf from Party of Five, the actor.
What season was she on?
New Orleans. Like early. She was gorgeous.
I'm gonna look her up right now.
Gorgeous. And she was married to Scott Wolf, who was on Party of Five. And like she was this perfect girl that I was like obsessed with growing up. They were married for 21 years. She married this actor, like this perfect life. And then a couple of months ago, she announces a divorce. And then we've all been watching her on social media, literally having a mental health crisis. Like literally, she's schizophrenic. I mean, she actually has schizoaffective disorder is what they're saying, but she's unmedicated and she's showing us all on Instagram, going live, like literally going wild online, and we can't stop watching. And she just got arrested, but she could literally, next thing you know, put either herself, her kids, her family, or other people at danger. Mental illness is a problem.
Well, and the thing about this shooting is that there's so many layers to this, right? Shootings in general will always bring out will always bring out the gun debate. That's always going to happen no matter what. It's always going to be part of this, whether there should be stricter gun laws or whether it's fine. And this is just, and then what this goes into is even more, because then we have someone who's clearly mentally ill, and we have somebody who is trans, and we have somebody who is anti-Israel.
Indoctrinated.
It's like there's so much going on here where you don't even know where to start. There's not, and this is again my problem with politics and all of this stuff is everything is so black and white. It's like it has to be one way or the other. It cannot be multiple things at the same time. All of these things contributed to whatever the fuck happened that day in Minnesota.
And you know what's so crazy is he posted that insane video of him like talking to his guns. I'm sure you've seen parts of it where he's like literally like sexily talking to his guns. Literally, it sounds almost like he's getting turned on talking to his guns. It's gross. He posted it to YouTube the day of the shooting. The fact that that went through, when I'm telling you, I post to YouTube every day. If I post a 30-second clip of a song or of a TV show, I immediately get flagged.
Yeah.
But that went through and no one flagged it.
You tell me all the time on this podcast not to cuss as much.
It's crazy.
And I try not to cuss, but sometimes
And if we cuss, I mean, it will still go online. Like you can cuss, but it will get like shown to less people. Like they monitor by AI. You can monitor so easily so many things that you do. So like it's really, really crazy how many things that he was able to get through, you know. But this is always the story. How did this happen? How did we miss this?
I know it is. And it's, what do you answer at this point? Like, how do we figure this out? Because you can't.
But it's not the guns. I hate to say it. I'm really embarrassed for all the people that are going to come at me. Not embarrassed, but I'm like really sorry for all the people that are going to come at me. But this is not a gun issue anymore. This is not a gun issue. This is a literal mental crisis. And it's not just America either. It happens around the world. It may happen more in America than everywhere else, but it happens around the world. It just happened in Sweden. It just happened in small countries. It happens everywhere, and it will continue to happen. And you take away the guns and it's going to happen with another weapon, and you take away the weapon, it's going to happen with bombs, and you take away, it's sadly where there's a will, there's a way. I don't think it's a gun issue.
I think it's a both issue, honestly.
It's a both issue, but that's 100% the guns make it easier.
That's what I'm saying is that it's not, they could come back with another weapon. I get that, but a knife is a lot harder to stab a bunch of people than to walk into a classroom and open fire. And again,
100%.
I am pro Second Amendment. I have no
We're
issue.
okay,
But
but
my it's always, I think there's again, it's not black and white for me. It's there needs to be I don't want to say happy.
you don't think he could illegally have gotten those guns?
Of course you could illegally
So
get
there
them.
you go.
But it do you think maybe he would have gotten out of his way to do it, but now it's easier for him to get it because there's no mental health
But those
check.
guns were not legal guns. Those
I
guns
don't
were
know.
wild.
Did we find out exactly what
I don't know, but those guns did not look like legal. Those were I would be interested to know what kind of guns they were, but like when I look at those guns when I saw in the video, they weren't like regular.
So what do you think?
I mean, I don't know what the laws are in
Went on the
Minneapolis.
street and found illegal guns. Like that's the thing, because a lot of times what happens is you can buy these guns and you can illegally modify them, and that's what happens a lot of the time. Because people are very, gun happy in this country, they do certain things to guns that modify them and change them where they become more warlike than self-defense like. You looking up the gun?
I'm just wondering, how did he get the guns?
I'm going to ask at some point.
Guns used by Minneapolis church school shooter Robin Weston were purchased legally.
Yeah. See, I'm wondering though, but he could have modified them to be more deadly.
Yeah, it says rifle, shotgun, and a pistol. The craziest thing about it is, like, how does this white Catholic child, and the reason I say that is because the mother worked at the school apparently. How does this white Catholic child from Minneapolis, well, actually, I shouldn't be surprised that they became indoctrinated to believe like a free Palestine. I shouldn't be surprised, because that's all they are.
They're coming out like
they're all these white, like super white liberal kids.
If you can get white Jews to think that, you can definitely get anybody else. I mean, this is what's been going on. It is unbelievable that it just doesn't get covered as much, especially with this, that it's so much about this globalizing the intifada, where people are being brainwashed to think this is okay and this is what should happen.
It's very upsetting. The second it happened, the second I heard there was a school shooting, my first thought was like, oh no, it's a Jewish school. Like, I don't know. My first thought is always going to be right now that like it's a Jewish hate crime in this moment. Then I heard it was a church, which is, another really sad thing that it's happening at like a religious institution right now. And then I can't believe that like the Jewish story is involved.
I know, like, not that, like, obviously this is bad, but why do we have to be put into this story as well?
And I don't think it was solely because there was also F. Donald Trump, and there was
a lot of things. That's what I'm saying.
So I think there was like I think he almost did, and someone said like he also did something against like India. Like there was a lot of anger, and it was probably like I think he probably just like hated anything and everything.
Yes, he was mentally ill,
insanely mentally ill. But I wonder for those of the people out there that are fighting against Israel and fighting against, Jews and stuff, like when you see this is what you want to align with? They would say like, that's not me.
Yeah, they will say that's the fringe.
Mm-hmm.
That is the fringe of the fringe. These assholes that are completely like so into being anti-Israel are the fringe. Yeah. And now this is the fringe of the fringe. But what I get scared about is that are more people going into the fringe of the fringe where we're going to continue seeing these violent acts. We've already seen, 4 or 5 of them this year where people have been killed or lives have been, attempted death upon. But I get scared that this is going to, the brainwashing and all of this is going to continue to.
Well, I mean, it's always the case. Like, what are you going to do? We can't live our lives with the fear, but that's just like after Columbine, right? You can't live your life with fear to go to school.
I know.
But yeah, it's a reality. It's a reality. You know, another thing is I want to say in terms of like the online stuff, there's some really great people online that are real great allies. One of them is Brandon Tatum, who is he has 2 million followers on Instagram. We've talked about him maybe briefly
Oh,
before, but he's been such a powerful pro-Israel like speaker, and the hate that he gets every time he speaks. Who's paying you? APAC, 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 APAC.
always with APAC. By the way, APAC doesn't do that. If you know what APAC
No.
does, they don't pay influencers. It's not what APAC does.
No, and it's the go-to, right? That's the go-to. And anytime there's any sort of anyone with a social media presence that goes to Israel, because Israel probably does host many, many trips, because as you should bring people to Israel so you can see it for yourself. We went to Israel and we saw it for ourselves, and then we fell in love with the country. It's a great way for you to actually go. As Douglas Murray says, have you been there? You gotta go. You got to go and feel it, Dave Smith, motherfucker. And the truth is, you know what's interesting is Megyn Kelly. Did you see that?
Which part? Which one?
When Megyn Kelly spoke to Marjorie Taylor Greene?
No.
Are you kidding?
No, I didn't. Wait, is this recent?
Last week.
Oh, no.
I was not happy with her.
Tell me.
Well, Megyn Kelly's been great, and she's been always so supportive.
Yeah.
And then like a month ago, she all of a sudden out of nowhere is like, I'm just going to be honest, you know, I am very pro-Israel, but I just have questions. Like, it's gone on too long.
Okay.
As if like this is a choice.
Yeah.
And it's ours. And when I say ours, I'm not Israel, but when as if it's Israel's. Like put the onus on Israel, not Hamas. Always, right?
Yeah.
And then she brings Miss Space Laser herself, Marjorie fucking Taylor Greene, on the show.
Yes.
And they're talking about Israel, of course. And Marjorie Taylor Greene's talking all about APAC. And Megyn Kelly says the same thing. She goes, I'm never going to go to Israel. Why are they all forcing me to go to Israel? I'm not going to go to Israel. I have kids. Like, I have a family. I'm not going to go to Israel. And she's like, but I do notice it's kind of weird that they like really try to force you to Israel. And then all of a sudden people go to Israel and then they change their tune.
What is that supposed to even mean?
I don't know. Almost like Israel's like bribing people to go and then paying them off or something. No, you go to Israel and then you enjoy it. You like it. You fall in love. And then you come home and you want to fight for the country that you just were at.
Of course.
But she's making it sound like this really shady practice.
Some kind of conspiracy where you bring Jews or you bring anybody into this country and they come back brainwashed.
Yeah. I hated it.
Well, good. You know what? I hope that's the truth, because I'd rather people be brainwashed to fight for Israel than to fight against Israel at this point.
I know, but she was like, I'm never going to go. I didn't like it.
And she's never been?
Never been. Okay. And then one last thing I wanted to bring up, and then you can say anything you want to say about. Did you see Shawn Mendes?
Yes.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Well, I loved a part of it, and then I'll tell you my other part. So Shawn Mendes, the singer, unfortunately, we're still stuck. Thank God I don't go to a lot of concerts, but unfortunately, we're still stuck in a lot of places where, or the time in our lives where every time we go to a concert, we have to be at a fucking political rally.
Actually, before you get into that, and this is part of this, we've talked about this before, Dave Matthews. And
did he do it when he was here in LA?
I don't even know if he said anything. So basically, and we'll get into Shawn Mendes in a second. I just want to get into this. So if you've been following this podcast for a while, Donna and I were big Dave Matthews Band fans. Matthews Band fans. I had gone to somewhat 60, almost 70 concerts in my lifetime. It's been a lot, and we've gone to concerts together, Donna and I. We've gone to a bunch, and he's been saying a lot of anti-Israel rhetoric, talking about genocide, all of these things at his shows. And we talk about music and how we want to go to concerts where it's just solely where we're there to listen to the music and that's it. We don't want to get other things into our heads and whatnot. So unfortunately, last week, this was Dave Matthews performed at a venue in LA because he's on tour right now. And this is the first time I can say in all of my fandom, I didn't even try to get tickets. And it's super sad. And I knew he was performing that week. And then Donna, you were the one who reminded me that day that he was performing. And I didn't even tell my wife, Lauren, I didn't even tell her. I'm like, because Lauren's also a big fan. And then she found out the next day. I'm like, yeah, I didn't even want to bring it up to you because I didn't want to have the conversation and feel sad about it that we didn't go. And then having to think about if we were there, what kind of shit would he have said? Do we want to sit through any of that? Blah, 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 blah. So it made me very sad that something I enjoyed every single summer, a band that I would see every single summer, I just won't see anymore because of the way he is and the way of what he's been saying, and the lack of knowledge that he has with what's going on in the Middle East. So sorry to interrupt you there.
Yeah, but we don't know if he said anything or not.
No, and you know what? I don't want to know if he said anything. I'm done. Like at this point, he has said enough where even if he said it, like I don't even want to think about if he didn't say anything, I still would have felt uncomfortable being there because I know what's going on in his head and what he has said in the past concerts this tour. So
and you know that like everyone that's there is like okay with it.
And then I see some of my friends who are Jewish who are there.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
And well, him and somebody else. I have a couple other ones too. And I've had conversations with these people because they always text me anytime the tour dates come out. And they always say, "Are you going?" And I said this time, I'm like, "I'm not going. I can't." And they're in this predicament where they're like, "Yeah, I get it, but I kind of want to go, and I have reservations with it."
It's not as important to them.
I guess it's not, and it's very interesting because some of the people that are there that I know, they are. It kind of shocked me because I thought it was very important to them, and this kind of the music and that experience and supporting him as a musician trumped anything that he had said and all the stuff that he said up until this point. And I can't sit there and talk ill about these people because everybody can lead their lives as long as they're not harming people. If they want to go see Dave Matthews Band, fine. But there is this little thing in my head that's like, I don't know why you would do this. I honestly don't.
Well, it would ruin my night. I always have to think about worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is 3/4 into a concert before number 41 plays. And all of a sudden he lifts up a poster that says, stop the genocide or something. And it has a whole big spiel about kids dying in Gaza. I would be so devastated. I wouldn't be able to function there. So I would leave. That's the worst case scenario. And I would be in the worst, saddest mood. Not worth it.
I know. Well,
definitely not worth spending that money.
A couple weeks ago, Lauren and I went to go see Lady Gaga, and it's a very very put together show. I don't know if anybody's ever seen Lady Gaga, but it's a really good show. It's like a theatrical event. But there's towards the end where she starts talking. She does, and you don't know what she's going to say. And Lauren grabs my arm and holds it tight because she looks at me. She's like, "Oh, please don't say anything about Israel, Gaza. Please don't say." Thankfully, she didn't. But this is the type of shit that we have to worry about when we go to these concerts. Are they going to say something that is, completely uneducated? And
Shawn Mendes did say something. Shawn Mendes, the singer, did say something, and I think he was in Portugal, and he did say, speaking out for the kids in Gaza, and the whole place screams, "Ah! He said something!" Ah! It's as if if a musician or a celebrity says the word Gaza, people are they cream their pants. They can't handle it. They're so excited. And then he says, "But we should not take these feelings and turn them into hatred and anger towards the Jewish people. Which, how crazy that saying this is as if he has just like cured cancer.
I know.
Okay. But saying this and the screams were like, ah, like it was like much more muted. But there were some people screaming, but it was like, Gaza, ah! Jewish people like, ah. And then he said, we should never, ever take this and turn it into hatred and anger. And then it was more, woo. But that's the message.
Of course.
That's what people should be saying forever and always. And had everyone just taken that goddamn message from day one, no one can be angry. Speak for Gaza and also for the Jews. And you got a happy world. But unfortunately, people always forget the Jews in the message. And then you got half the people that can't go to the goddamn concert.
Yeah.
So thank you, Shawn Mendes. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Good on you.
Good on Shawn. It was in Portugal, you said?
I think so.
Oh, interesting.
But I will always be a fan of his because of that now. It's like it really doesn't take a lot. Now, a couple other things. Beverly Hills High School. You wanted to talk about that. Let's do it.
So, I'm kind of curious to hear your take on this because
I went there.
Yes. So correct me if I'm wrong with this entire story, but there has been talks. I guess there was an idea that I guess May is Jewish Heritage Month, and the idea for Beverly Hills High School and maybe some of the other schools that are in the Beverly Hills district, that they were going to fly the Israeli flag during that month to celebrate Jewish Heritage Month. Now, that is, it's a pretty large Jewish constituency, would be my guess. Maybe Sephardic Jews, lots of Persian Jews live in those areas. You went to school with a lot of them, so you would know. However, I guess yesterday or a couple days ago, the board decided not to do that. And it was voted down 3-2, where they decided that that was not the appropriate thing to do during Jewish Heritage Month. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts on that, and then I'll tell you my thoughts, and we'll see if they match. And I kind of think they may not, but let's hear it.
Well, I didn't read the details on it about why the board, voted no. I saw that they were voting yes on it. So was there a reason why?
The reason they said it was a safety issue. They said from a safety perspective, they didn't want to, make the schools a target in any specific way.
Have they done it before?
I don't believe they have.
I would say if they don't do it do they do it for any other heritage months?
Nope.
Okay. So then I think that they're doing the right thing.
No, then we are on the same page.
Yeah.
I don't know, because there are people that are like so pro-Israel that they're like, yeah, they should be able to do it for Jewish Heritage Month. But to me, it's like, why are we flying a country flag? And I understand Judaism and Israel go very, very well hand in hand. But for any other heritage, for any other thing, we're not flying their flag. It should just be, there's a ton of other ways where you could recognize Jews, where you could fly something else that is specific to Judaism. It does not have to be that. And I agree with the decision not to do that. I think it made sense where Beverly Hills said, you know what, we're not going to do it. I don't know if I believe it from a safety perspective, whatever it was, the excuse. I just think if they're not doing it for everybody else, then don't do it at all. Don't put anybody's flag. There's not a Palestinian flag. There's not that. There's not, Mexican Heritage Month. There's not there's not Mexican flag. There's nothing. So just
so make it even. Don't put the Jews and Israel at a higher level of anything, scrutiny, elevated level of power or anything. I think that right now the Jews are getting a lot of shit in the world for being treated like the anti-Semitism bill, and like you can't say anything against Jews or else you're going to get kicked out of schools, or you're going to da 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 da. I know people that are anti-Jew or anti-Israel are really, really upset about that and are giving a lot of grief. It shines a light on anti-Semitism, or it shines a light on Jews in a negative way for people that aren't pro-Jew. I am very okay with it.
Nice. Okay, good.
That's how I feel about it.
The last thing I wanted to talk about, just real quick. I have a movie recommendation. I usually don't do this, but I wanted to just talk about this real quick.
Okay.
And it's a movie
Wouldn't
that
it be funny if it was like had nothing to do with Jews?
I know it would be, but this is
like it was like Die Hard.
Although that is a great movie, and
nothing to do with Jews.
Yeah, but watch it. So I watched this movie yesterday called Defiance. Okay, I don't know if you've heard about this. I think it was 2008 or 2009. It was Daniel Craig and Lev Schreiber, whatever his name is. And it is this unbelievably amazing story. Donnie, you need to watch this movie. It's not an easy movie to watch, but
I don't want an
it's a Holocaust movie. It's a World War II movie. Basically,
I think I've seen this. I'm looking it up. Hold on.
Okay, look it up.
It was in theaters?
Yeah. It was. The story is unbelievable, and I don't want to.
It looks familiar.
Basically,
Daniel Craig, Lev Schreiber, and Jamie Bell.
Yeah. So Lev Schreiber and Daniel Craig play brothers. And they're in a part of the world called Belarusia, which is basically part like on the border of Russia. And this is right when, Russia was fighting back with against the Germans, and the Germans were obviously rounding up everybody and either killing them or sending off to concentration camps. So these two brothers, these Jewish brothers, and they were like not intellectuals. They were like kind of, rough around the edges, carpenters, like people that were more with their hands than they were with their brains. But what they did is there were these forests within this area of Belarusia. And they basically started finding Jews around the area and hiding them in this forest for years. They put together an entire community where people were doing all this stuff. They were having weddings, they were doing all this, and it was right in the middle of World War II, to the point where there was all of these Germans and all these Nazis that were trying to find them within the forest, but they either kept on fighting back or moving to different locations within the forest. And they ended up saving, I think it was 1,500 Jews altogether with all this. It was unbelievable in terms of how they were able to get all the people. Is there an echo? Do you hear an echo?
It's because I'll fix it.
Okay.
I can't fix it. It's because my
what?
My AirPod went out, but don't worry.
Okay. So
is it really bad?
No, it's fine now.
Okay.
It was. All right. Let it down. Anyway, so they ended up saving about 1,500 Jews. And these Jews went on to emigrate to the U.S. and all over. And it's just such a fascinating story about the perseverance and just amazingness of what Jews are able to do in this type of atmosphere, in this type of world, where everybody was against them. Even the Russians that were still the Allies, they still were very anti-Semitic. They didn't like the Jews, but they were fighting alongside, the United States and everybody else. It's just a great movie. And I think it's just another example about how Jews are very much, they talk a lot about community in this movie and being a Jewish community and keeping tradition and doing things. Even if there's a war around them, even if they're being killed, all of this stuff still matters. And it matters so much because they're able to, get through all of this and still carry on their traditions generation after generation after generation. So I would 100% see this movie. It's just a very, very interesting and powerful story.
Did you want to be Roger Ebert or?
I did growing up. I did.
Clearly, you just did like about 45 minutes on that movie.
I could do more if you really want to, but no.
That's okay.
Growing up, I wanted to be Siskel because he was the skinnier one. Yeah.
You cared about their looks? They really look like Bert and Ernie.
I really do. Can you believe they're both dead too? Like they died young. Like that's
what happens when all you do is sit on your ass and watch TV and movies and eat popcorn
and argue with each other about what's.
Gene.
I loved that show growing up.
2 thumbs up.
Loved that show growing up. But yes,
what a lame show to watch.
Are you? No, don't even start with it. That show was awesome.
Why don't you create your own version of what was the show called?
Siskel and Ebert.
Siskel and Ebert. What a dorky name for a show.
I think they did fairly well for themselves, Donna.
Really? They died young.
Okay, but they made a lot of money and they lived happy when they were here.
Is there a documentary on Siskel and Ebert?
There has to be.
I would love to see more about their lives.
Okay. Well, if
I want to know what happened before and after they sat in those chairs every day.
I'll talk to Brad Pitt and we'll put together a documentary.
Are they Jewish? Were they Jewish?
I feel like one of them was. Now you're looking, aren't you?
Siskel was.
Why? Because
was Gene Siskel? Was Gene Siskel a smoker? That's the first thing. Was Gene Siskel Jewish? Siskel. Oh, he looks pissed.
He's always pissed.
Film critic Gene Siskel recalled as a committed Jew mensch. Yeah.
He was Jewish.
Siskel was Jew. He was a Russian Jewish immigrant. Yeah.
Was Jewish.
He was an active Jew.
Good.
Ebert was not a Jew.
No, he was not.
Roger Ebert feels like he was an Irish that probably hated Jews.
Oh, you're just looking that up. You don't know, though. Roger Ebert's religion. Robert Ebert, legendary film, cancer. Well, this is a Jewish journal. I think he was Jewish.
No, he was raised Roman Catholic, but it says, in the end, though, his ultimate spiritual principle strikes as deeply Jewish.
Jewish Journal just seems like it needed to write an article. So they wrote about him.
Oh my God, I know the girl who wrote this article. All right. So, and then finally, before we go, we saw this really cute cartoon that we're going to watch on Netflix. Yes. It looked so cute. It's 10 episodes. It looks actually just like a happy, sweet show. It's called Long Story Short, #Long Story Short. Oh, no, it's not called #Long Story Short. No, it's just called Long Story Short. And it says this is the most authentically Jewish cartoon ever made. It's 10 episodes. Everyone says it's so adorable. And it's about like this like adorable Ashkenazi family, Naomi and Elliot, and their children, Avi, Shira, and Yoshi.
Yes.
And they like talk about their bar mitzvah and stuff.
So I guess it came out this week, so I'm excited to watch it.
Are you going to watch it with your kids or alone?
I don't know. I got to figure it out.
I'm going to watch it with Dylan tonight.
Maybe I'll watch it by myself because I'm home alone for the next few days. So maybe I'll watch it by myself and then watch it again because I'm sure I'll.
And I love it because Max Greenfield is in it. He's the voice I love him. He's actually a friend. And then Ben Feldman, who is also such a good actor. Abby Jacobson, who I don't really know, but she's in Broad City. And then the parents are Lisa Edelstein, who's a great Jewish actor, and Paul Reiser.
I saw that. That's awesome.
Okay, good. So that's on Netflix, and it will be fun to watch. Well, Adam, thanks for coming back, you guys, everyone. Thank you for being here. Another episode of Jews, Just You and Me, Jews Talk. What was what's our new episode?
Jews.
Thanks for being here on The Jews.
Yes.
Like The View.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Well, if you need a name. On The Jew.
I'm the Jew.
Yeah, I'm the Jew.
We're the Jews.
There you go.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.